This year, we had our first serious breakdown on a John Deere combine.
So yes, it may be small, but it is mighty.
Most likely one paddle came loose.
And the most important part, the engine.
And that's it. Greetings from LoginEKO. I'm Sinisha, and I'm sure you remember me from the previous video where we showed you our tractors. It's harvest season, and that means it's time to show you our combines. My colleague Stefan and I will guide you through our combine harvester fleet.
As Sinisha mentioned, across both locations we have a total of 7 combines. 4 Lexion 760, 2 of them are semi-track and the other 2 are wheeled, 1 Lexion 6800, 1 John Deere T670i and a small plot combine, Zürn.
All our Lexion 760 use MaxFlex headers with a working width of 7.7 meters.
Claas's MaxFlex technology is unique because the cutter bar consists of multiple flexible plates which allows it to adapt perfectly to uneven ground. Here you can see how Sinisha lowered the header over a small bump and how the cutter bar precisely adapts to uneven ground.
Claas Lexion kombajni su koncipirani, odnosno vršibina komore.
The Claas Lexion combine harvesters feature a tangential threshing system with a pre-accelerating drum APS ahead of the main drum. The APS accelerates the mass entering the threshing drum, ensuring maximum performance and mass flow through the threshing machine. They are called hybrids because instead of a straw walker, they have 2 axial rotors that continue with the grain separation process. While these combines are typically used in conventional production, we employ them for organic farming equipped with Seed Terminators, which you will see later in the video. And the most important part, the engine. It is a Perkins 460 horsepower 6-cylinder engine. The Seed Terminator consists of 2 large mills that grind the weed seeds. In this way, weed seeds are destroyed and cannot reproduce, which is very important in organic farming. It is one of our methods of weed control.
It's 36 degrees Celsius outside, so we couldn't wait to get into the cabin where the AC keeps it nice and cool. Let's take a look at some of the cabin details. This combine has automatic crop setup, which we sometimes fine-tune manually to ensure the cleanest possible seed in the grain tank. As for some other features of the combine, we monitor the Seed Terminator on this display. We use this camera to track unloading and the chopper. The combine also has a navigation system that really helps and makes the job much easier. And that's it.
Unlike our southern location, at the northern one we have, when it comes to combines with straw walkers, the Lexion 6800. In the south, that's the John Deere combine. As mentioned, we have 2 Lexion 760 rotor combines at each location. Why did we buy the 6800 with straw walkers? Back in 2020, we harvested hemp with our Lexion 760 rotor combines. We had no prior experience with hemp, and during harvest, we encountered a problem. The harvest residues, that is, the fibers wrapped around the bearings and the rotor. On one combine, we even had to remove and completely replace the rotor. On the other combine harvester, the rotor was not that damaged, only the bearings were replaced. That's when we learned that hemp cannot be harvested with rotor combines. At that time, we had already started growing flax, which also has strong fibers, so we decided to buy a combine with straw walkers. Što se tiče nekih karakteristika Lexiona 6800, As for some features of the Lexion 6800, which differ slightly from the Lexion 760, it certainly has a larger grain tank. Zatim, ova lula koju vidite je također šira, duža I The unloading auger is also wider and longer, and given the larger tank capacity, it features two unloading speeds, something that the rotor models, for example, do not have. It has 4 drums, unlike rotary combines, which have 3. Because it uses a 4-drum system, it can operate at relatively low drum speeds, resulting in minimal grain breakage during harvest. The engine cooling system is also different. The radiator is placed horizontally at the rear of the combine. I'm not sure if I mentioned it, we bought this combine in 2022 and haven't had any major problems. But here's an interesting one, a problem I've never encountered before in my career. What happened? Well, if I can call it a malfunction, some of the paddles in the elevator broke. No foreign object caused it. Most likely, one paddle came loose and ended up breaking about a dozen others. Luckily, we were harvesting chickpeas, so we were able to continue working, as the remaining paddles still had enough capacity to lift the grain into the tank. This taught us to double-check the elevator chain tension before harvesting. The combine is powered by a 425 horsepower Perkins engine, the same one used in our Lexion 760 rotors. You can see it up close here. The header is currently detached as the summer harvest is over. It usually works with a 7.7 meter wide Convio Flex header with an extended table and a rubber belt that feeds the grain into the feeder house and into the further transport routes. Mislim da bi on mogao da nosi I širi header, 9 metara, čak I 12, samo to je sad. It could handle even wider headers, 9 or 12 meters, but the wider the header, the more challenges there may be in the harvest itself. Šta bih još mogao da dodam, s obzirom da je kombajn novije generacije. Being a newer generation, the cab is also more modern and many functions are now controlled via a touchscreen. Nasuprot Convio Flex headeru koji Unlike the Convio Flex header on the Lexion 6800, our Lexion 760 rotors have MaxFlex headers. Neki zanimljiv moment koji smo imali u ovoj žetvi. One interesting moment from this season, if I can call it that, occurred while harvesting oats that had heavily lodged. We had to drive slowly, and because the header table is short, the mass kept piling up. It seems that too much mass suddenly entered the auger, which bent it and cracked it, as you can see here. As a result, one header was out of service, leaving the combine unable to complete the harvest.
Nalazimo se na južnoj lokaciji LoginEKO u Aradcu.
Now we're at the southern LoginEKO location in Aradek.
Žetvale blebije, tako da
With the winter crops and chickpea harvest complete, the combine awaits the upcoming sunflower harvest.
tako da ćemo vam
This is an ideal moment to show you our John Deere T670i.
ovaj John Deere kombajn je sa klasičnom vršidbenom komorom.
This John Deere combine uses a conventional threshing chamber and a conventional separation system. It has a tangential threshing system with straw walkers. We use it for harvesting all crops, but especially for flax because of those straw walkers.
Kod ostalih kombajna s aksijalnim rotorima za separaciju, on ima prednost u odnosu na njih.
Compared to rotary combines for separation, this one has an advantage when harvesting flax because on rotary machines, flax straw tends to wrap around the rotor, which does not happen here.
Ali John Deere ima jednu specifičnost da je sabirna ravan napravljena u vidu spirala.
However, the John Deere has one peculiarity. The grain pan is shaped like a spiral which carries the grain and during hemp harvesting can cause hemp fibers to wrap around it.
Pored toga što je klasična vršidbena komora, tangencijalna,
In addition to the tangential threshing chamber, it also has an additional rotor behind it for better threshing and facilitating grain separation.
pored svih naših kombajna, ovo je kombajn koji jedini nema Seed Terminator.
Among all our combines, this is the only one without a seed terminator because at the time of purchase, the manufacturer had not yet developed a compatible version for this combine model. At that time, it was the last series of its kind. Here, that's the machine. A 6-cylinder, water-cooled, turbocharged 480 horsepower engine. A real powerhouse.
Pravi motor. Brojevi obrtaja, zazori, sve se
RPMs, gaps, all can be adjusted directly from the cab, so the operator doesn't need to step outside to make manual adjustments. This year we had our first serious breakdown on a John Deere combine. The multiplate clutch in the main gearbox failed completely, and the combine was left stuck in a field about 30 kilometers away from our farm location. Our warranty had expired, but the service team still came out to the field to diagnose the issue. Unfortunately, they didn't have the spare parts or the workshop capacity, and the combine wouldn't have been repaired before the end of the season. This wasn't an option for us because at our southern location, the John Deere is the only straw walker combine capable of handling the upcoming flax harvest, and the autumn harvest were approaching as well. So we decided to fix it ourselves. Our mechanic, Miodrag Bokic, led the repair. We disassembled the combine, removed the main gearbox, replaced the necessary components in our workshop, and then reinstalled everything on site. The entire operation took about 8 days, after which the combine was back in operation and we successfully completed the flax harvest.
And here we are. We've saved the best for last. Zürn 150, the smallest combine in our company. But don't let its size fool you. Even though it's small, it has almost everything its bigger and older brothers have. Its purpose makes it unique. It is used only on test fields for microplot harvesting, equipped with advanced and expensive measuring systems for precise work. It measures moisture, hectoliter weight, and grain mass, all available to the operator in real time. If further analysis is needed, it can send the seeds directly from the measuring unit to the cabin. So yes, it may be small, but it is mighty. As we mentioned, the results from the precise measuring devices appear here on the tablet, allowing us to monitor the harvest in real time. Although the cabin is small, there is still room for 2 people. The person sitting here operates the sample packaging system, selecting the desired quantity and packaging method at any time. And with this little one, we end our mini tour of LoginEKO machinery. Until our next video and some fresh news, take care.